Well, guys, it's been a crazy year here in 2020, but we've also seen some crazy cool blades. And in this video, we're gonna take a look at the best fixed blades that I tested and reviewed for 2020. Now, for you veterans of the channel, you know how this video goes, but for those of you who are brand new, maybe checking out this video for the first time and you're unfamiliar with how we kind of do things here at Gideonstactical, what I do is we review tons of stuff here at the channel, tons of blades particularly, and every year I take a look at the knives that connected with me the most that we tested out for that year. Ones that were either really unique, had a really interesting design, really kind of surprised me, blew my mind, whatever it is. It's all about what connected with me the most for this year. And so that's what we're gonna take a look at and just kind of go back down memory lane and see what was crazy in the blade world for this year. Dude, this lens flare is like insane. I hope it looks amazing on the thing. Okay, now it's too bad. That lens flare was getting intense. Let's go ahead and change the camera here slightly. So you want to see the knives, I want to show them to you, so let's jump right in with the Rocca knives, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Corpus keep, sorry, I wish I could speak Finnish. This is a Finnish-made knife. The wording that I'm annotating in for you means wilderness warrior. And what's really cool about this design is that we're getting a full tank construction with a really nice rubberized handle all the way through. Glass breaker on the back, 90-degree spine, just about over 4 inches overall blade length. Really robust. And it basically has a convex grind using 80 CRV2 steel, which is a really good, tough steel, but then rock weld with a differential heat treat and stuff all the way up to 63. And I've had tons of use with this. Comes with a very streamlined polymer sheath that matches with a lot of different attaching points and options. And the designer has served in the Finnish military and really wanted to produce kind of like a woods focused military style knife that could kind of be this crossover, you know, bushcraft tactical blade. And I believe it was accomplished almost flawlessly. So just a very, very cool design. For us here in the States to get it shipped over, it costs about 150 bucks. And then I believe it's a little bit cheaper for those of you in Europe. And so woodscraft meets tactical, accomplished with this Rocca knife, and it's #1 on our best fixed blades of 2020. And throughout this video, guys, we'll have links for you below in the description box where you can check out the blades that I'm listing for you. A lot of them have, you know, customizable options or different types of sheaths that you can do. So you can just hit those links. It'll take you over. You can investigate, see what you like, don't like, what connects with you. And we do appreciate it when you do use those hyperlinks if there's something that connects with you throughout this video. Well, guys, the temperature's dropping. The sun's going down. Let's jump back to the property and see what else we got. All right, bouncing back to the homestead, going through the tubs. I love this because it's just like going down memory lane and how many sweet blades we saw this year. Now, you guys know the BK16, been around a long time, great companion blade designed by Ethan Becker. Well, this year we got the BK18 from Ethan Becker in collaboration with K-Bar. So we got a USA made 1095 high carbon steel blade, Crovan, full tank construction. What's really cool is not only do we get this really wide, big harpoon-shaped belly, I really like the blade shape and style of the knife, but it comes with a polymer sheath that's completely ambidextrous. And it takes the exact same micarta handle scale option that you can do for the BK16, and the price is great at about, on average, about 75 to 80 bucks without the micarta, and then those handle scales are about 30 to 35. So you're looking at about 100 to 105 dollars to get yourself this USA made. Only having to upgrade the handle scales, whereas on the BK16 you got to get either custom leather or Kydex because that nylon is barely doable that it comes with standard. And it's just a really cool blade that has a lot of different capability, regardless if it's, you know, backcountry, you know, hiking, camping stuff, or in a more tactical utility role. So guys, when I came onto the scene on YouTube about 8 years ago and started reviewing knives, Gerber, outside of just a few of their models, was kind of on the downward slope in my opinion. Lots of Chinese made stuff. The quality was not there, was very kind of low end, lots of like orange and gray with Bear Grylls name stamped all over it. And they just didn't perform. If they had been that way, but like good materials, you know, that would have been fine, but just bad materials. But what I've really seen in the last like 2 to 3 years is Gerber really turning a curve in their US production and coming out with lots of new designs made here in America, and their designing and their quality I'm really happy with, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the next year brings. And this year in 2020, I picked up this knife, ended up being a really great compact bushcraft style blade, and that's the Gerber Principle. Now this is about a 3 1/4 inch blade length, Scandi grind, full tank construction, made in their US factory out of 420 high carbon steel. You got a rubberized handle that just feels so natural. It looks very like sci-fi-esque when you look at it, but there are 0 hot spots and fills out that hand very nicely. Really have enjoyed that. Held up well for me with all my use. 90-degree spine, polymer sheath with a lot of different lashing options. And what's awesome is this edge geometry on this blade. This Scandi edge bites into wood like a croc into a water buffalo. I mean, it takes out chunks if you need to. You almost have to like relearn how to use a Scandi grind to readjust your cut angle, because when I use my Moras, I'm used to a particular angle and getting like, you know, the carving that I want or the chunks that I want. This one is just such a biter that it'll just remove huge pieces of wood with 0 effort. So it will do the finer stuff extremely well, but you almost are like, whoa, this is taking off too much, and then you kind of, oh, that's where the edge is. Wow. And it was very, very impressive to me for what you're getting. Now, in my mind, it's still a little bit on the steep side for the materials, at about $60 on average. If you find it on a deal, you know, you can get it for maybe like 45 to 50. But at $60, I think it's a little on the high end, but still for everything you're getting, a great option if you like all the features that you've seen. You like those compact Scandi ground knives. Gerber is definitely starting to make a footprint. And in fact, they have kind of followed that series, and we're going to see here in the new year the TerraCraft just giving you a saber ground larger version with S30V steel. So we'll be looking at that here in the coming year. But this particular model definitely connected with me, and I love using it, you know, doing little woodscraft work and projects. It's a very precise tool. And you guys know these knives, you got to attach them to something, right? It's your belt. Well, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this video, GripSix. Now, GripSix is a belt company that is based right here in America, where they make all of their products, which is super awesome. I've been using their belts now for a few years, and I love the friction design of the belt buckle. So they're very slim, very minimalistic, micro adjustments, so it fits perfectly, particularly if you're putting different types of gear either in your waistband or on your belt. I really dig that aspect a lot. They have all sorts of different color combinations. They have slimmer ones, they have big thick work belt styles, and everything in between. And so it's a great gift option this holiday season, and GripSix is offering a free priority shipping in order to get it to you by Christmas. And if you just select that when you are purchasing something off of the GripSix website, they will get that to you by Christmas. So you can go ahead and check out that link below. You can hop on over there, see what they got going on, and see what they have to offer, because I love this USA made product, and it helps me carry these blades that we're looking at today. Now, I love a sleeper knife or gear item, you know, that you just were not expecting a whole lot out of, and then it blows your mind. Well, that's what's going on with this next knife from Joker Knives in the Lynx. Now, what's really cool about this blade is that it's made in Spain out of Böhler N695 steel, which is a great kind of stainless steel, saber grind, micarta handle scales, super well contoured. I mean, the fit and finish on this blade is amazing. About 4 1/4 inches, about 0.16 on the thickness, holding a great edge. Lots of sheath options, both Kydex and leather. Some come with matching fire steels if you decide to go that way. 90-degree spine on this bad boy. And what's so cool is, like, I had seen this brand and this particular knife, and I had thrown it in my Amazon wish list for like a year and just had never pulled the trigger on it. And on a whim this fall, I was like, you know what, let's do it. I'm kind of getting into these high vis colors. They have lots of different color combinations, low vis too, if you like that. But let's just do it. Let's just see. Haven't done a knife from Spain in a very long time, and let's just see what they got cranking out. And it just blew me away at $80, and some can go as low as like $75. And they have a whole lineup of knives using Sandvik 14C28N, or there's bowler steel and some high carbon steel as well that easily float between like 75 and like 120 bucks. Just depends on the designing, all those different things. We're going to look at a few more over this next coming year, 2021. But this just like blew me away, and for the price, you're getting a phenomenal knife. Well, it only took years, but finally, SE has updated the SE6 with contoured handle scales from the factory. In years past, they were pretty blocky on the SE5 and 6 particularly. They were doable, but it really kind of helped to upgrade and go custom basically, or there were a few places that you could do that without it coming from the factory. These now come from the factory with contoured either micarta or G10, depending on the version that you pick up. And the pricing has basically stayed about the same. I think it might have gone up by about $5. The SE6 is a staple here at the channel. If you just want a one and done, USA made, 1095, a full warranty, do everything midweight survival knife. And now you don't really have to do anything. The polymer sheath really gets the job done. Now not having to do anything aftermarket, it's like the one-stop shop for that midweight survival knife, and has been performing for years for me. I've gone through several different versions over the years, all of them holding up so well, so tough and durable. And it's a great size and weight class to do the more compact stuff, but also get some medium to heavy stuff done in a pinch. But I would be remiss if I didn't highlight this knife in our list. This is really honestly one of the top 2 knives I used all summer long. Earlier, that Rocca knife when I was out hiking, doing our backpacking trip up to Wyoming, all that stuff. I have tons of blades to choose from. This was one of the 2 that I just kept coming back to over and over again this year. And it's kind of a hybrid. It's really interesting. It comes from the Knife Connection. It's a design that they exclusively sell. It's their brand called the Architect series or Architect brand. It is a design that they've come up with, very familiar lines, which is awesome. Produced by Tops Knives, so USA made, 1095, differentially heat treated, high carbon steel. What's awesome is that basically you can customize the heck out of this blade. You get a high saber grind. You can get all sorts of different handle scales. They're just amazing. All sorts of different color combinations. Trick it out over on their site. They have this knife builder site and setup, and can do leather or Kydex sheaths straight from the factory. And it's a sick setup for about $155. I believe $160 is what I paid for my setup. And what's really cool is most knives like this, they're usually going to be about 3/16 to even almost a 1/4 of an inch thick for this about 5-inch blade here. So that means that you have a lot of capability. It's about a 5-inch knife, full handle, big, ergonomic, comfortable, but it's thinner than even the SE6 that I showed you just a moment ago. So it has, even though a saber grind, it has a great precision slicing capability, food prep capability, and it's a great companion blade. Phenomenal, one of my favorite knives of the year, and absolutely on this list of best fixed blades for 2020. Now, what's really cool is that recently, in the last year or two, Condor Knife and Tool has started using 1095 steel. I've never been a super big fan of their 1075. Always seemed a little too soft for my usage, but they now, with their 1095, are coming out with some pretty sweet designs, and this one really connected with me for some reason this year. There are aspects to it that are just cool, and for a value, you get a lot of tool. You get a very simple broom handle kind of style handle, full tank construction out the back, 1095, full handle right there, really like that. You got a 90-degree spine, you got a cool kind of wash on there to fight against rust. And this is their bush glider, about a 4 1/4 inch overall with a nice swedge here, unsharpened. If you wanted to sharpen it, you probably could. Full flat grind, so it's a good food prep knife, but it was also a good woodscraft knife, and kind of that really nice crossover with a very simple and basic but very usable ambidextrous polymer sheath. Just latches right in there. Going to come in at about $42. So for that price point, you're getting a lot of crossover capability between like food prep, camping, and woodscraft that you may want to put a belt knife like this through. Now, they do have the pterosaur that is full tang, same exact handle, just a Scandi grind. So if you're into Scandi grinds and you're wanting something that's a little bit different than a Mora, maybe like a little bit of a step up with that full tang construction, that is an option as well. So this knife, the Bush Glider, was just really cool, and it just has this good niche And when you're on a kind of a tighter budget, but you're wanting a good belt knife, it has that great kind of do everything capability. Next up, we got the GCK, which is the ground combat knife from Buck Knives. This came out early in the year, kind of flew under the radar. I was not expecting it. And then I saw that it had dropped. And for $100, what we're getting here is a full tang with micarta handle scales made out of 5160 high carbon steel. Combat knife, basically. You can get it with the spear point or an Tanto version. It comes with a polymer sheath with a nylon backer like you see here, with lots of lashing options and tension screws, all of that, with that really good full-size handle, good blade reach for the design. And if you're looking for more of a combat field knife, I think this should definitely be on the short list just because of how tough and durable it is. And Buck has been using that 5160 for a while. They know what they're doing with it. And this is just a really well-built combat style knife and should definitely be on that list, particularly if you're thinking of someone who does serve as a first responder, military, those type of things. I think that it has a lot of capability with their different blade shapes and just with the overall design, and hitting that really good price point, about $100. It's very competitive with what else is on the market. Now this one, I say kind of with a heavy heart because we don't know what's going to happen. For those of you who are kind of unfamiliar, Cold Steel has recently been sold. Lynn Thompson has sold it to GSM Outdoors. He says that he's going to still keep working with the company. Most of the people are still there. They're going to try and take it to the next level, partnering with this company. But he's no longer at the helm. Who knows what type of designs, quality control is going to exist. I hope it's all good. Could be. A lot of times when big conglomerates pick up stuff, it's kind of boom, crash and burn. So I'm hoping that is not the case, particularly since they're keeping Lynn around, but this design may not be around much longer. So what we're looking at here is the Cold Steel Dropforged Survivalist. Now what's really cool is they came out with this Dropforged series a few years ago, but I kind of shied away from the bigger knives in that collection because they didn't come with handle scales. And you had to kind of wrap it, and it was just didn't quite connect with me. Then about, I think this year or last year, the end of last year, they came out with handle scale versions. So they put these nice textured handle scales on there. Very, very cool. And it's all just one hunkin' piece of metal, just two little holes in it. Boom, you're ready to rock and roll. And it's got 50 to 100 high carbon steel, which is a phenomenal, tough, durable steel. This big buoy design, basically a full flat with that great swedge, good, stout, robust. No hot spots because of the nice contouring on the guards. You know, so many of these combat style knives have that really abrupt, straight T-bar, and it becomes very hot on your hand and you don't like using it. This is very contoured, very nimble, quick in the hand, and just bomb-proof. You're getting that polymer sheath that we know, from Cold Steel. 90-degree spine, so it'd be a great, if you're into this style, bigger survival knife. And just has a lot of capability. Had a lot of fun taking it out with the family and using it on one of our camping trips, as well as just a bunch of other work that I did with it. So you're getting great steel. And when I bought it, it was $60. So, I mean, if they're still available, that's a screaming deal for that type of steel and design. And we'll see if it sticks around and where the future of Cold Steel in general is. But man, this was like, for the money, it's like a steal of Cold Steel knives with what you're getting, particularly if you like that big buoy, indestructible kind of style. So we've been doing a lot kind of comparing the SE6. That's why I had to be on that list, because it is king. But there are great options and features from other companies as well, as I've been showing you today. And this is another one coming in at you that makes the list, and it's the Work Tough Gear Elbrus. If you're unfamiliar with the Work Tough brand, they are a small batch, basically company, almost like a semi-custom shop. Over in Taiwan, they use SK85 Japanese steel, and then also some K110 steel as well, is what I've seen in the past. But what's really cool is that there's this level of attention to detail that is amazing and almost on mid-tech level from multiple knives now. I've purchased several of them. I have about 6 of them. The steel is holding up super well. I'd put it on par with most US 1095. It's very tough, very durable, been through all kinds of stuff. What's different a little bit about this than even like the SE6 and some other models out there is obviously you get that full tang, you get G10 handle scales, very full, contoured, 0 hot spots on those handles, very nice, scalloped, big finger choil, good blocky jimping, nothing sharp there, 90-degree spine. But you're going to get on this model a high saber grind with a little bit of a swedge kind of in the middle there, but still giving you, really good slicing capability because of the convex edge that they put on this model. So it's really cool and gives you kind of like a step up. It's about 1.5 ounces heavier than the SE6 and say like the BK7. So you get a little bit more chopping power behind it, still good reach at over 6 inches with that blade length and that saber grind, whereas the SE has like a full flat. And then, there's different aspects, no finger choil, say on the BK7. It's kind of a blending of the two, if you will, and giving you a great midweight survival knife. So if you're in the market for midweight survival knives, I think that this is definitely something to consider. Kydex sheath it comes with, and definitely one of the better knives I've tested and reviewed this year, not only in quality but also in design. I mean, you can have a good quality knife, but if the design is bonkers, then it doesn't really matter. Usually about $130 on average, because it's small batches. They will be available like on Amazon and then sell out and then be available. So if it's not available now, you can always check back, or you can always check the Work Tough Gear website as well, which I'll have in the links for you guys below. So who doesn't love a Cold Steel SRK? Great knife. We've reviewed it in the past. It's been on the list in years past. But there are some aspects to this design that maybe some people are looking for. A full tang versus rubberized craton. I know over long periods of hard use, they can kind of start to wear out over the long haul. Maybe you just want something that's even bigger and more robust than what you're getting on the SRK. Well, Tops Knives has done that. This isn't a new knife by any means, and it's the Apache Dawn. What this is designed as is basically a giant field knife. You're getting over 6 inches of blade length, a short saber grind there. Great relief edge though. I was a little about the capability of it because of that 1/4 inch thick stock with those G10 scalloped handle scales. But I was very happy because of the relief edge, the capability. It's still, a field knife in that design, so like a full flat grind with a high, thinner stock, is going to obviously slice a little bit better, but this still has a lot of woodswork capability, obviously piercing and stabbing capability, and can still split like nobody's business. The ergonomics are really good. Fill out my large size hand. You got that nice choil so you can choke up and still control the knife very, very nicely. And it's going to come in about 130 to 150. Just kind of depends on who, what, when, where, why. Now, currently, it comes with kind of a cruddy nylon sheath. So just as a quick tip, 2 options. If you want to go Kydex, you can always go check out AZ Welke. The link will be below. They do tons of Kydex here at the channel. I've always been super happy with what Al does over there. But if you want something a little bit cheaper, you can just go to Amazon and you can get the 8-inch Spec Ops USA made universal sheath. This fits perfectly in there, just a little bit of room to spare. It's got PALS webbing attachments on the back. It's got a nice adjustable snap, and a lot of blades will fit in here, not just this Apache Dawn, but this guy goes for about $40, I think, for this sheath, and it will even hold that upside down very, very nicely. So that's a good little nylon option, or again, custom Kydex over at AZ Welke is always a good plus if you want to upgrade the sheath on your Apache Dawn. Well, guys, that's my list, and I'm sticking to it. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and the best of 2020 knives that I've tested and reviewed here at the channel, the ones that have just connected with me, that I've fallen in love with. This makes the list. I can't wait to see what 2021 brings, and I'd love to hear your guys' list. If there are a few knives that maybe I missed that you think I need to check out in the new year that might make next year's list, or just ones that you connected with, I would love to see those comments in the comment boxes below. I'd love to see that. It'd be awesome to hear what your guys' best blades of 2020 were. And guys, finally, as always, check out the other video popping up. Invite you to subscribe again if you haven't yet subscribed. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.